change your mind, if you change your mind.
Chapter 28, Steven Universe of the Campus. Steven drove his van with Kenneth, Bernard, and Alexis inside to the University of Herkleton. Kenneth gave his new friend the directions to the location as Steven followed everything. He drove through the gate while parked at the parking lot, not long as he and the others got out. Welcome to the University of Herkleton, Kenneth patted on Steven's back. A really great campus for the future for everyone here. Every college has a future for everyone, Steven smiled as Kenneth laughed. We were planning to come here for our future studies, Alexis commented. We're planning that out the next time we come back here. It's never too early, don't forget that, Bernard added. Kenneth had more opportunities for where he could take Steven to. He's planning on showing him his friends at their dorms, including his own dorm later, but first he took him to the water fountain where he always goes to. This is where I mostly take in the fresh air while listening to this fountain, Kenneth sitting on the edge. Granted, there are other water fountains even outside of colleges, but this is my favorite spot. Steven and his friends saw the coins in the water from the fountain. You sometimes put a coin in there once per week. Well, if it's this fountain's lucky day, Steven tosses his coin in the fountain while sitting next to Kenneth. We don't grant wishes in college, but it's a step forward for your future. As Alexis sat next to Steven, Bernard decided to stay standing. Despite being impressed with Steven's impression, he's still keeping his distance from him. He knows he won't blow up like before, especially with his new friend, but he's aware that if his friend could find out about his true self, he could be suspicious like he was. Bernard, Alexis spoke to get her boyfriend's attention. Aren't you gonna sit next to us? No, I'm good. This university is still new to me, he responded. What do you mean? You and her wanted to be here for your future, Kenneth replied. It's not that, it's just this place is about you and Steven, not ours. Kenneth gave him a confused look while Steven followed where he meant, but with an improbable look. Bernard, it's not all about me and him. If it were, I wouldn't take you and Alexis along. Technically speaking, we can't really make it about me and you if we can. Sorry, but you two have officially lost me, Kenneth responded. Steven, you told me earlier that you're a traveler. Yes, I am, but I forgot to say that I got here 4 days ago, Steven turned to Kenneth. I've met Bernard and Alexis, but we haven't been friends. It's not true, it's just... Alexis refused to expose Steven's true identity, but Kenneth's catching on. Steven has a really embarrassing, lively initiation, Bernard said, getting Kenneth's attention. It wasn't ugly or anything, we didn't appreciate his life as much as we thought. It was just me and Alexis who found out about it. Oh, Kenneth followed on. If it was really embarrassing, I don't need to know about it. Yeah, Steven replied. I'm sure you had embarrassing occasions like I have. If one person never had that, they wouldn't be your friend. You can't disagree on that. Big time. Bernard felt relieved he helped Steven dodge the bullet, including himself. The thing is, it got harder for me to like him. Travelers really have a lot of different qualities, but it doesn't mean I should like them. Nothing personal. This gave Steven an idea after listening to Bernard. He got up, looking at Bernard with a smile on his face. I don't like all of your qualities, but there are still different ways to have a friend to like. It's just, you were the first traveler I met. Would you feel the same way if one of us went to your place? Kenneth wondered if what Bernard meant would be a coincidence if he ever traveled like Steven, which gave him a question for his friend to answer upon getting up like he did. Where do you live? Steven came clean as he turned to him. Beach City, he answered. To cut things short, I do live by the beach, but I'm not a swimming person like some people there. I wasn't expecting you to be a swimmer, but Beach City does sound like a fun place to travel to. There are places like Funland Arcades and Beach City Funland, just to name a couple. My brother is a gamer, but I can't remember the last time he went to an arcade in Herkleton. Kenneth lowered his head, and I don't think he'll ever attend this college like I did when he becomes my age. Steven would have thought Kenneth's brother was more of an indoor person than an outdoor person, but it gets more odder every time he thinks about him. Did he ever spend time with you? No. In fact, you would probably need to meet him to know him personally, if he wanted to meet you, that is. Steven had been thinking of the photo he had in mind after meeting Kenneth. But with the way he's slowly picking up the pieces, his brother could be hiding something. Should we go somewhere else to keep the mood going forward instead of nowhere? There's a cafe that has soft serve ice cream, he offered. It'll keep the mood up. Yeah, it'll definitely put us in a more happy mood, Alexis agreed, being the last one to get up. Let me take you all there. Kenneth led the way as Steven and the others followed them. Upon arriving at the cafe, they bought their own soft serve ice cream while Kenneth began towing Steven around the campus. They made their way to the football field where students are practicing for the big game against the other college team. I don't usually come to these football events since I'm a cartoon guy in animation class, Kenneth smiled. But this campus has tons of sports for everybody. Not really a sports person, including football, but I've been on a diet recently, Steven replied. I've been keeping track of my diet, but if I took part as a football player, I would be kicked out on my first day. Yeah, unless you got into the spirit of football, Bernard added. Or any sport really, Alexis added. The only sport that I had the closest of spirit to is baseball, but Steven stopped himself while taking a lick of his ice cream. Let's just say my team were rookies while the enemy's team were all out for the color red. Kenneth laughed at Steven's sense of humor. In my childhood, my old friends who took part in football couldn't pass the touchdown with a ball in their arm. Who were your old friends exactly? Mark, Barry, and David. Steven remembered what happened between him, Craig, and his battle against the elders of the creek, and after hearing their names, he didn't think it was a coincidence Kenneth was friends with them. I did met them once, but let's just say your direction in life is healthier. Well, I haven't met them in a long time, so I don't know what they're doing for a living. Obviously not looking for love, Alexis commented while licking her ice cream. Not planning on doing anything for a living, Bernard added. I wish I could disagree with you, but if they're still hanging out under the boulder from the creek, it shows not everyone can move forward with their lives, Kenneth said. I didn't learn it the hard way, but it wasn't hard to see their true colors. Mainly one of them, Steven said. Was Mark your best friend? Yes. Steven refused to tell him the whole story of what really happened, keeping his gem out of it. Would he at least be helpful at animation class? I don't know. But he'll have to get great grades like I do to be part of this university. Bernard looked at the disappointment in Steven. He's unsure if he told him about his school life, but if Connie's the only person he met that went to school, he's concerned if Steven would never attend a college if he never was a hero. If Steven never had great grades like Mark, would you try to have him be part of the same class you're in right now? That is, if Steven's into animation. No, I'm not. This gave Steven an idea, but I actually did volunteer to help out students. You did? Kenneth smiled. Trust me, in my place, Beach City has built a college campus. Aren't you still learning to do that kind of volunteering? The difference is, it is mainly about different types of activities that don't have animation, football, or even American history. Okay, Kenneth catching on. Can you tell me what college at Beach City is called? Little Homeworld. As in Little Homeworld College? Yes, if I had the chance to take you there, you would like it. Kenneth had more experience in the University of Herkleton after improving his animation skills, but if he lived in Beach City, like Steven with a different type of talent, he'll be happy to succeed at Little Homeworld. My brother wouldn't enjoy it, but there's a chance we'd work together if we knew each other more. You would have to be a Beach City citizen to learn more about Little Homeworld. This caused Kenneth to wrap his arm around Steven's shoulder, and you would have to be a Herkleton citizen to learn more about the University of Herkleton. Yeah, Steven laughed. So, do you want to show me your dorm? Big time. Steven then wrapped his arm around Bernard's shoulder, catching him by notice. Come on, act like you're in the college spirit, cause we are. Yeah, Bernard awkwardly smiled. Me and Alexis would come back here, so he wrapped his arm around Steven while opening his other arm. Let's savor what's in front of us now. As much as I want to join in, we all know we still have ice cream to finish, Alexis asked. Oh, right. Steven replied as he and the others got out of position to finish up their ice cream. After eating their cones, they went back into position, wrapping their arms around their shoulders. Bernard wrapped his arm around his girlfriend as the group made their way to Kenneth's dorm. Bernard, Steven whispered to Bernard, thanks for helping me out a bit. I'm mostly returning a favor for you giving my brother a great time yesterday. Steven still hoped Quake is alright at the creek without Ruby and Aquamarine in the way, but at the same time he knows they're not the only ones doing it alone. He's unsure if he's gonna find out their intentions soon, but once he's done hanging out with Kenneth for the day, he'll go straight to Quake as soon as possible. He didn't forget to tell him to run back home for safety, with the truth of it all is how vulnerable Quake is without him.
You